Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of It Is Really Freaking Warm Out Today. So yeah, it's spring. This is to be expected. The seasons are changing again, but just like how the seasons are always changing, there's something else as a constant of life, and that's grifters. They are always there, always everywhere, and ready to be extremely lazy and proud of it. Okay, so you may or may not know this, but the first video I ever had actually pop off was a video about AI art. It was highly controversial in that I had a lot of AI bros attack my maybe 2-3 month old YouTubing self and threaten extremely explicit deepfakes on me. They sent me a bunch of threatening messages, a whole lot of very bad stuff. So yeah, I've kind of been afraid to talk about that ever since, but I've kind of gotten to the point where I've been doing this for long enough now that I don't really care about ticking off a few AI bros. The whole chat GPT art thing and the Studio Ghibli trend that's been going around, I don't know, it just kind of made me really want to talk about this again, not just specific to art, but just because it really made me think about the ways that I feel like AI has kind of touched everything now. And I really don't think it's been in good ways. And disclaimer, this video is not meant to change the opinions of morons who are locked into the opinion that AI is amazing, AI art is bae, AI art is life, and they're not going to listen to any other opinions. I'm not even making this to try to change their minds anymore. That was my mistake the first time around. This is just purely to educate people who maybe aren't very familiar with the topic of not just AI art, but also AI in other fields such as academia and movies, and just share not only my perspective of it as, of course, an artist and a student in academia, but also just to share a bit of information about it to those who may not know how bad it kind of is. So yeah, let's not even beat around the bush here. Let's just get right into AI art. Okay, so this is the one that's really big for me personally. I, of course, as I'm sure everybody knows, I don't like it, but let me actually get into why is pretty darn harmful. Okay, so for starters, I am pretty sure just about everybody knows about this by this point, but on the off chance you don't, all of these generators, be it art, writing, or whatever, they are all trained using pre-existing artworks and literary pieces on the internet that these generators find and train on. And of course, this is all done without anybody's consent. There is no way to opt in and there is no way to opt out. If it's on the internet and it can be easily found within Google Images or some other search engine or browser, it can be used to train the stuff. So it is not only theft, but also probably copyright infringement because you can't do that. And last time everybody asked me, well, how is this different from looking at a picture of Princess Peach and using it as a reference? Okay, it's different because that doesn't involve theft. It involves taking inspiration from an image and using that with your own creativity in your brain to create something new with your own hands. Very different from saying, oh my God, ChatGPT, please generate me a picture of Princess Peach. Well, I do absolutely nothing to do anything and you just steal from a bunch of images other people made online. And of course, the biggest glaring issue with this is that these models are literally stealing and replacing the people whose art is being used to train them in the first place. Oh my God, that is insane. These models do not exist without the work of millions of artists who have their images just put online by themselves or other people being used without their consent to train these models that are then being used to put them out of work. But on top of that, so all of these businesses that want to transition away from using actual art and use AI generated images, I have seen a lot of people, and myself included, I feel like it really cheapens the product and the brand because it just tells people you don't have the money to pay your artists. And so everybody assumes you're broke, okay? That's not the image you want to be putting out, that you can't afford to pay your artists. And not just people can tell and think it means you have no money. On top of that, it also is frequently anatomically incorrect. Even if you zoom in, you will see some glaring details and even just minor things that once you notice, it will drive you crazy and it makes it look cheap. But what ends up happening is people just take a quick look at it or okay, it's great. And then they put it up there for the world to see to advertise their product or their movie or their game or whatever. And then when you notice those errors, on top of the fact it already makes people think you're cheaping out, it just looks even worse. How could you ever trust anything that had to have an AI generated image of it? If you already see some errors in it, what makes you think that the product isn't flawed itself? But as I may have said before, it is really hard to have a real conversation about this because every time people try to bring up some of the negative impacts this has on not only the people who actually draw and are now having their work stolen to then replace them, but also the detrimental impact it has on consumers who are being fed images that are generated like they're not even real. On top of all of that fun stuff, we have to deal with the nasty, horrible attitudes of these people online, the AI bros that you hear me frequently refer to, who have turned this new technology into a crusade against the elites. Their words, not mine, and the elites are people who know how to draw. Like, art is a form of self-expression. That is literally why it has existed since the time of the caveman. It is an integral part of human culture. I don't think an AI-generated piece of slop should really be representative of our culture. And if it is, like, that's kind of sad. And I feel like most people would probably agree with that. I feel like people just fail to understand what the base meaning of the word art is. There's a difference between art and an image. Like, I could take a picture of my pillow here. Like, I don't really think that would be art, like, unless there was an intention behind the way I'm posing it, which there isn't. It's just an image. An image and art aren't the same. AI art isn't art, it's just an image, right? Art is like anything you actually put creativity and intention and meaning into that can be interpreted in a variety of ways to represent our culture and feelings and all that wonderful stuff. And AI art has none of that. So, like, I just don't understand what the purpose of this is, aside from like the obvious purpose, which I know deep down these people all know that is why they're doing it, which is grifting. This stuff is great for ripping people off, whether it's trying to make up a phony Patreon and convincing people that you are a real artist who deserves their support, or finding other ways to monetize off these images because people are able to produce them basically at light speed. It would take a real artist several days or several weeks to make an image to post on their Patreon. It takes these people minutes, maybe hours if we're being generous. They are able to monetize off this stuff in ways that no artist can actually match their pace. It is just a very cheap way to try to earn a couple of dollars off the internet. It's very sad, and of course it's grifting to the highest degree. If you can't tell, this really grinds my gears, so I just want to say one thing, because I also see this notion that somehow artists are gatekeeping. Never heard of that, but I'll say it again. There are so many resources online if you're willing to look into them, and I'll even go a step further because I do draw and I don't want to gatekeep it from anybody. I always try to encourage people who express an interest in it. I will go so far as to say, if you're an AI bro or just somebody who's maybe interested in learning how to draw a bit, if you have a question for me that I could maybe help answer, drop it in the comments. I will help you. I will tell you what software I use, what brushes I use, various little tips I picked up on along the way, like any videos or other artists I took inspiration from, or I followed their processes to see what they were doing. I learned from others, and so I am happy to share that knowledge if this is something you are genuinely interested in learning about and trying. But let me move on just a bit to AI in YouTubing, because this is also another area that I am interested in, because look at me, I'm making videos right now. And let me talk about how that has also now proliferated everywhere. Okay, so just like how I talked about art, AI art feels like a scam and just a really sad money-making scheme, people are now doing that with YouTube, whereas people used to actually have to put in a bit of effort to make low-quality content that they could churn out to get like minimal ad revenue. Now they are taking it a step further, and they are churning out almost entirely AI-produced and made content to upload to try to get just a bit of ad revenue out of. And it has just devalued the platform so much. I mean, I had to turn off like recommendations from YouTube, which I hate doing because that's how you discover new creators and small videos that you otherwise probably wouldn't find. I had to turn that off because I kept having AI content and AI thumbnails pushed to me. And I was just like it could easily convince you that that is just like everything the platform is made up of now. And I refuse to even give that impressions. I mean, it is insane. People will literally have ChatGPT write them a script and then have AI produce video content to go along with that, and then have an AI voice read their AI produced script. And not only does it look like trash, and it is trash, but it is also ripe for misinformation, which is a huge problem that is everywhere nowadays that I have actually done small research stuff into. It is a huge problem, and this just only exacerbates it because literally nobody is fact checking anything. They're just about how fast can we get this information and content out. So you might be wondering, why is this a problem? Because generally, and I don't want to stereotype, of course, but I think people who are more likely to click on videos or continue watching videos that may be blatantly AI, because they just don't recognize the difference, are more likely to be susceptible to misinformation and believe things, not necessarily at face value, but if you can't tell it's AI, you didn't pick up on any of the other signs, you might not think that the information you're listening to is fake as well. And so you have a impressionable audience, be it children or people who just are not processing the information very critically, believing stuff that the AI told them that's not true. And I'm not going to get political and go into ways why misinformation is bad, but I think we can all agree misinformation is pretty darn bad. I think most people want the truth and the facts, but YouTube is now promoting this stuff to so many people, and it is becoming harder and harder to tell what is real and what is true, and what is fake and just completely fabricated by AI on so many levels. It's just crazy to me, like, that this stuff still gets clicked and people will actually watch these videos just spouting misinformation and stuff that, like, I don't know, I feel like I would think is highly suspicious, but there's some channels that are genuinely becoming more and more convincing. It is really hard to tell what is true, what is a real person, and what is not. It is very concerning, and if you don't do your research, which I can understand why people might not want to do research into that 6-minute YouTube video they watch, you're watching so many, yeah, that's really bad, like, because who knows what you're going to end up believing if you're not fact checking and you don't realize that you're getting information from a source that is not reliable. And not only is it not reliable, it is just making up crap as it goes along. Like, if you don't believe me, look up the story of the lawyer who decided to write a law brief through ChatGPT. And this ChatGPT law brief cited a bunch of cases that never happened. Oh my God, embarrassing. But yeah, it is so sad to see YouTube videos, which, like, should really be the epitome of creativity, right? Because, like, most channels, you think everything about it is people just thinking up their own ideas. Even if they're reusing other channels' ideas, like, there's still some element of thinking usually involved. And now, I mean, it's so hard seeing channels I like and used to respect a lot using AI generated thumbnails, using AI generated, like, video content, when before people used to use, like, actual modeling software or Photoshop. Like, there's one channel in particular I watch a lot while working on art, and they make very scientific, factual videos, and I love their videos. They're very well done, but they've transitioned to using AI thumbnails, and at this point, I can't even, like, tell, like, what if some of their newer episodes are, like, using AI generated video footage and it's not even accurate to the scientific event they're trying to tell me about. Like, it is a rabbit hole of misinformation and misconstrued information, or maybe there even is, like, no negative intent behind it. But when you start relying on AI to do these things, you lose so much credibility and so much respect. But yeah, I feel like it's just encouraged more grifters to turn to YouTube as another form of their get-rich-quick scheme to just turn out so much slop that I feel like it is just taken over everywhere. And you cannot avoid it, and it just devalues everything, because what used to be, like, a center of creativity is now just, like, filled with people just trying to make a bunch of, like, videos as fast as they can, hoping one of them will go viral and they'll get a lot of money, which is sad. Like, I don't think anything like this, like, based on creativity, should be, I don't even know how to put it. Like, yes, of course, people want to do stuff like YouTube or Patreons or whatever to get money, of course, and that's normal. You're working hard on stuff. There's nothing wrong with hoping to get a couple dollars out of it. But when you're using AI to just speedrun how fast you can make content, not even enjoying what you're doing, purely for however many bucks you can get out of it, oh my God, get out of here. Like, we don't want you here. Like, the people here should be, like, I don't know, I always liked how YouTubers were just creative and, you know, actually had to put in work to what they were doing. And now I feel like if it's not a creator I've watched for a long time, I'm skeptical, because, like, I just want to think that what I'm watching is real and genuine, and it's just so hard to tell now who, if anyone, is actually still making stuff fully by themselves. Oh, and sweet Jesus, don't even get me started on AI in college. Oh my God. I know not that many people statistically watching have been to college, I think most times when you think of college, you think of putting in work. Like the whole point of your degree is you put in the work, you do the work to get the degree, so we don't have a bunch of doctors running around who rely on ChatGPT to get them through med school. But oh my God, you have to hear what I've been seeing on campus. Like, there are people here, and my roommate last year was one of them, who are incapable of writing even a short paragraph of text by themselves. I'm not even kidding. And this isn't like some small podunk college. We're like an R1 research school. We are doing like hardcore heavy research here. Like, this is a good school. My roommate, and she is not the only one, some people cannot write anything themselves. Like, so she would have like, she'd have to write like 200 words. She'd have to ask ChatGPT to write that for her. There are some people who cannot write basic emails to their professors themselves. They need to ask ChatGPT on how to write stuff in a professional tone. Oh my God, I don't want to share a graduation stage with people who don't know how to write. I mean, really, there are more people here than is acceptable who refuse to do even the most basic amount of work themselves. And so they're basically like, they're functionally useless. They're like a toddler who has to have their mom do everything for them. Except instead of it being a toddler, it's like, it's a student. Like, some of these are STEM students. Some of these people want to go to med school, and they're not even doing their most basic biology homework. Like, they are cheating on everything in the saddest of ways. Like, this goes beyond cheating. This is just like, this is so incomprehensibly lazy. And like, these are people who are graduating. Truly, it is so upsetting to me as a student who worked my butt off ever since I was little to get a scholarship and get to go to good schools, to see people who are part of my class be unable and unwilling to do anything for themselves. And I just cannot fathom that we are going to have people entering the workplace with these shiny degrees who are not going to be able to get any work done themselves without ChatGPT. And it is so sad to me to see academic spaces just be completely ruined by this. But again, this is like a smaller scale, and I'm sorry to say it to my fellow students, but it's like a smaller scale of the AI grifters who are just all about how much can they have the AI do for them while doing nothing themselves. It is so sad. To see it anywhere makes me sad, but especially in college. You're paying tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to go to college. And then people don't even do their own work. Like, don't get me wrong, I was busy. I couldn't film videos for the longest time because I was swamped with papers. I was writing like several dozen pagers, but you know what? Gosh darn it, I did them myself. So yeah, if you think it's bad enough online, just know that this is no longer just an online problem. This is in the academic world now, and these poor professors have to deal with the fact that half of their students are basically borderline illiterate zombies who cannot do anything for themselves. Much like AI artists, who rather than pick up a frickin' pencil that is not hard, are just like, oh my God, ChatGPT, make this gorgeous picture for me and I'll claim it as my own. Except no, now we have people doing this, but with like their chemistry papers, their engineering papers, the most basic concepts you need to understand for whatever field you're going to go into. So I'm sorry, when half of Gen Z turns out stupid, I warned you. Come back to this video later when our politicians from my generation are like the dumbest. It is because we are not going to have a bunch of studs because nobody wants to learn anything. Oh my gosh. And of course, I touched on misinformation earlier, but given how many, I feel like, large events we've had going on, at least in America recently, I always feel like getting your news from a trustworthy source is important. No, this is not a plug for a sponsor, though I kind of wish it were, but it's that social media is now also useless for getting breaking information. Like, I cannot trust anything I see anymore. Like, Twitter and the like used to be really good for breaking news events. I'm not going to name any because, like, it might be dated by the time I actually get this posted. But when there were, like, major safety crises going on and, like, you wanted to find out breaking information, Twitter used to be pretty good for that. Like, you could actually look and you'd find, like, lots of information coming in quickly. And now, a lot of people just want to post fake stuff, like whether it's, you know, fake news reports generated by ChatGPT, or deep fake videos of politicians that aren't real, or voice clips from famous people who also aren't real. you cannot trust anything anymore. Like, this isn't even so much as somebody posting like a clip from a few years ago. That's pretty easily debunked by reverse searching. I mean, this is bad. This is really bad. I mean, it is just mind-boggling to me, and it is now harder than ever to tell what is real. And I feel like you can't trust anything, and I really, really hate that. I mean, AI can now almost perfectly replicate people's voices and have people say almost perfectly things they didn't. So you can kind of see why this is a problem. And on top of this, obviously being misinformation central, I also get really worried about the impacts this could have on just everyday average people. Between deep fakes and being able to replicate somebody's voice, I feel so awful for the people who are going to have their lives ruined by this. Because what happens if you get involved with somebody who's extremely vindictive, and you break up with somebody and they decide to literally ruin your life by posting images and videos of you saying and doing things you would never ever do? And I want to take this one step further and say I actually want to be a lawyer one day, and it is like, I don't even know what this is going to do for cases, because one of the cornerstones of any case is evidence. Well, what happens if somebody just AI generates a photo and is really good at making it look real, and they claim this is real? No, your suspect was here. You can clearly say they did it because here they were at the location. Well, it doesn't matter if this person says that they weren't. There's photo evidence. How are you going to be able to tell what's real and what's not? The better this technology gets at convincing people, I mean, you could literally just frame somebody for doing something they didn't do. I mean, it is the lack of protections and the fact that this technology is just in anybody's hands. It is a dangerous thing. And if you take anything away from this, regardless of my own feelings on AI art and AI and like academia, I really hope you take this to heart. That this is dangerous, dangerous stuff that could be used to implicate people for things they've never done, whether it's ruining their lives by destroying their job prospects through fake images, or literally sending an innocent man to jail. I really hope people understand the risks of this technology. And unless we actually get legislature around this, this is going to be a serious problem. So if you are actively defending this and thinking it's a good thing, please tell me why. Because the way I see this, this is extremely, extremely dangerous. So my thoughts on AI usage just in general is that, like I've tried to say before, I am not at all in favor of just burning it at the stake, right? Like, I think there is most certainly a use for it as an assistant and not a replacement, helping people in their careers to make things easier, to make menial tasks go faster so people can focus on the tasks they need to get done that are actually important. I mean, there are so many uses for AI in research fields, medical fields, be it just basic triaging, be it just gathering research or data easier. There are so many ways we can use this to advance human creativity and innovation instead of trying to replace it. Because why? But unfortunately, so far, at least from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, but I at least have not seen very many helpful uses for it right now, like genuinely helpful. Most of it is just lazy people being lazy people, taking advantage of the stuff for their own personal gain, with just not a care in the world for who it might hurt, which is very sad. But am I surprised? No, this is pretty par for the course with lazy and dumb people, so I guess I can't say I'm shocked. But what does surprise me is currently how few truly helpful uses there are right now for AI. I have not seen a lot where it has been genuinely helpful. Like, you know, some things I think would be cool. There's a lot of times where I see people, you know, saying that they wish there was a way to like auto translate what somebody's saying, like in YouTube, like in live streams, like so they can understand, you know, really talented creators in different languages and not just be restricted to, you know, languages they know. I think that's a really great use for it. Also, if there's ever a way we could come up with some way to like almost like was it Guardians of the Galaxy with the universal translator, where like, you know, somebody speaking Spanish to you but you don't understand Spanish, having something in your ear like an AI assistant that translates what this person is saying into whatever language you set it to so you can understand them and make communication easier. Language barriers are huge, and to be able to break those down would be an incredible thing for so many people. Instead of being used to help people receive medical diagnoses faster, helping us get to breakthrough research even faster, it is just being used to enable scammers and people who wish nothing but the worst for other people, which is really sad. So let me just say, I don't think we should just destroy the technology. Like last time, I had so many AI bros come into my comments and they were like, oh my god, Ludite, you want us to just go back to like having horse-drawn carriages? No, of course not. Like, I am probably one of the biggest proponents for true like scientific progress you'll ever meet. Like, I'm a huge space nerd. I fully admit it. You know why? Because that stuff is so cool. The new technologies, companies like SpaceX, and even Apple to some extent, like, these are companies that genuinely move us forward. And even if their purposes don't seem that obvious to you, it's how we get like the foundations of new technologies that truly change our lives for the better, like GPS and the Apollo missions. So I am a huge proponent for scientific and technological process. Oh my god, progress. Oh, this has been such a long video. But what I'm trying to say here is there is a huge difference between progress and technology that will really help people, and technology that is just being used by scumbags to get a couple extra dollars off of work they didn't do. I don't think that's progress. I just think that's grift. So I've tried not to be too mean this entire video, but I can't refrain myself. So here is my little message for AI users, and come at me if you want. I don't even care anymore. Please, for the love of God, do something with your own hands for once instead of living in this sad, Wall-E-esque world, and make good use of your time living on this earth, you lazy bum. Because I mean, as much as it pains me to say this, Kim Kardashian was right when she said nobody wants to work these days. Because God, that is so true. Nobody wants to put in the time and effort into doing anything. And then so instead of putting in any effort and finding ways to improve themselves and therefore improve society, people just want to find cheats and hacks and ways around it, and to be doing it by stealing the work of others who have actually put in the time and work is so unbelievably pathetic. So go ahead, call me a Luddite, call me a hater of progress, I don't even care. But the reality is that this, as it is, AI, this is not at a place where it is genuinely making progress, where it is genuinely helping people. Only people it is helping is scammers. And so please, for the love of all things holy, stop jumping on the AI bandwagon to just make you less and less competent and destroying any iota of creativity you may have once had. Literally, if you're going to use AI, do it for the truly meaningless things. Don't use this as a way to replace a hobby, which I don't even want to get into how pointless this is, or as a way to like fake skills that you've never had that you could very easily learn, okay? If you're using AI to send an email in a polite voice, oh my God, take a step back and ask yourself, why do I not know how to speak to somebody in a polite and or professional way? And if I really don't know how to do this, well, why don't I just learn basic manners and etiquette? The world would be so much better if everybody had these things rather than learn them. People just want to ask ChatGPT to do it for them themselves. Please stop being lazy. Please better yourself. And please, if you're going to use AI, use it for things that don't matter. Don't use it as a replacement for basic skills that are required for basic human functioning and creativity and just general innovation. Please, that is sad, and we are going to live in a dystopia if y'all don't get your act together. And in a nutshell, the only people AI is going to render truly useless are the people who use it to do everything, and they know how to do nothing without AI. So for all that about how somebody using AI will replace you, if you don't know how to do anything without AI, then you are the only one who is going to get replaced, because you are the only one here who has no skills. So I am very sorry for the long rant. This is clearly something I'm sure you can all tell I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about true progress and innovation and creativity and all those things. And academia is something that I always thought was like a very sacred thing. You know, at my university and in so many others, we're doing great things. And so it really hurts me to see that being tarnished by students who will join me in graduating one day, who don't know how to write basic papers, who don't know the basics of the field they think they're going to go into. I mean, it makes me scared for the future, and it makes me so sad to see places that were once pillars of human thought and creativity just be completely destroyed by AI. Like, I am so sorry if this sounds harsh. Like, maybe for some of you, you're having like a totally different opinion of me now, and you're like, oh my God, I thought she was so sweet, but she's actually so mean. I'm so sorry. I just feel very strongly about this, and I am really sick of seeing artists' livelihoods and careers being stolen from them by people who refuse to do even the faintest bit of work themselves and then gloating about how they're living lives and careers. Let me just remind you, jealousy is an ugly color on anybody, and anybody of any age can learn to do just about anything. be it writing, drawing, playing an instrument, learning a sport. Yes, you might not be the best at it, but I have learned in my experience, no matter what age you are, if you have the commitment to learning a new skill, you are probably going to get pretty decent at it, certainly better than the average person. So don't ever tell yourself that you are just not wired that way, because most things you can probably become pretty darn good at if you have the dedication to do so. So please don't put yourself down and say, well, I just can't draw. Yeah, maybe right now you can't, but you can most definitely start putting in the time and learning the skills, and trust me, you will be surprised by how good you become. So go out there and do something creative with your own brain power, because trust me, it is far more rewarding than anything AI can generate for you. Like, it takes me over a month sometimes to get art done just because of how busy I am. And so compared to an AI bro, like, yeah, I'm probably not getting much done, but I don't know, I don't care. Like, the satisfaction you get when you've made something with your own hands, like, you can't really replace that with generating an image. So please go out there, make something for yourself. You're gonna feel really good about it. Thanks for listening to my mildly unhinged rant. I really hope y'all are a bit nicer to me this time, or at the very least, I hope if you want to disagree with me, you do so in a respectful manner and we can have like an honest discussion about this. Because of course, if you think there are genuine uses for this technology in ways that will not be largely detrimental, please, I'd love to hear them. I am always open to learning and hearing other opinions, because that's what makes us stronger thinkers. So thanks for listening. I have a little short thing I want to talk about right after this, and bye-bye, I'll see ya. Okay, thanks if you stuck around that long, because that's probably going to end up being one of my longest videos yet. I just wanted to say real quick that yes, I'm finally at the end of another semester. I am on a bit of a filming spree, trying to get everything done before I leave. But the big thing I wanted to talk about is, I won't know until I post this, so I'll put my grade here, but I might be on track for another 4F semester, which I'm going to be so proud of if I did, because this has really taken a toll on me the last 2 weeks. So yeah, that would be a full year of straight A's, which like is crazy, because when I was in high school, I was like, oh my god, college is going to be so hard. When I get to college, I'll probably have to accept B's. And I got here and I'm like, oh my god, if I get another B- because I got one once, I will cry. So yay, I think I'll have all A's, which is very exciting, so yay for me. But secondly, I just wanted to share a little something that I got. Woo, yay, I got this for my birthday. And I'm not going to start playing it till I finish Persona, but this is going to be like my little summer project. I'm so excited. I mean, I really never thought we were actually going to get this on the Switch. Like, bro, it is crazy to me to be holding up Xenoblade X. Because like for years, I saw this on the Wii U, and like I had a friend who played it, like, oh god, it would have been like 7 years ago or so. Oh my god, now I feel old. Anyway, I thought we were never gonna actually see it, so like, it's finally here. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Like, you have no idea. Like, Persona has been a great time, but like open world games are like my happy space. Like, oh my god, the world is huge. I cannot wait. It is going to be so much fun, and of course I will talk about it so much once I get into it. I probably won't film very much at my home this summer, because as you may or may not know, there are things going on. Things are changing. There's a big change coming. I might get a little channel assistant. So yeah, big things are going on this summer, so I'm gonna get most of my filming out of the way now. But of course, hopefully by the time I finally come back, I will have some updates on this. And if it's not good, I'll be crying, but I'm sure it's amazing, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. Okay, thank you for listening to my mildly unhinged rant. I mean, I'm really not kidding when I say I'm so disappointed in the AI usage here. But you already listened to the video. You don't want to hear me talk about that again. Okay. So yeah, I think that's really all for me. If you really did stick around this long to the end, hello, you are amazing. Like, thank you so much. Like, I always feel like I'm just too boring for this and no one's actually gonna want to stick around to the end. So for like the maybe 5% of you or less who do, like, thank you guys. You guys are like the goats. Like, you guys are amazing. Like, thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm so sweaty and I should really get like an ice pack. Okay, but thank you for watching. Bye bye.